Welcome to the Tough Decisions Network. This is your tip of the day. Be sure to visit toughdecisions.net to sign up for our free weekly entrepreneur email, where we send you news about the latest technology for your business, inspiring quotes, and the latest entrepreneur books. That's toughdecisions.net. Before we get started, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Have you ever thought about investing in real estate, but find yourself so busy that you don't have time for it? Do you have FOMO, which is the fear of missing out? At HanfordCapital.com, we help investors with passive real estate investments that project better returns than traditional investment vehicles such as the stock market. If you'd like to find out more about our passive real estate investments, visit HanfordCapital.com. That's HANDFORD capital.com. We will jump on a call with you to discuss your investment goals and to see if our investments are a good fit for you. This advertisement is not to be construed as an offer or recommendation to buy or sell a security. Visit HanfordCapital.com. With us today is Cliff Oxford with the Oxford Center for Entrepreneurs, which is an Advantage Media Forbes Books company. Welcome to the podcast, Cliff.
Thanks for having me.
Today we are in tactic 11 of 16. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast to get future tactics, but also be sure to go back to listen to other tactics that we've already released via the Tough Decisions Network Daily Tips. Cliff, today I want you to kind of go a little bit deeper on how to understand people and not just their stances when negotiating.
Well, you talked about the brilliant jerk. You got to understand what motivates the brilliant jerk. Does he like intellectual philosophy? Does he want to look like he won? Well, we can work out a great arrangement where he looks like the winner and we get all what we get. So you got to look at the person and who you're dealing with. And, the classic here is the old, the guy that walks into the room and says, I'm just a country lawyer. And, everybody hold on to your wallets because country lawyers tend to be very smart for some reason. So you got to look at those attributes. Is this somebody who went to Ivy League schools and prep schools and never really was exposed to a wide culture? There's definitely a way to handle that person. So you look at the person and their background and who they are, and you strategize to parallel that. And you don't want to undermine that. You want to see it, for instance, I think Donald Trump would be the easiest person. That type of person is the easiest person to sell something to. I'll give you a great example. Harvard MBAs coming out of school or Ivy League MBAs think they know a lot more than entrepreneurs. And we get ready to sell at business. We say, you know what? Just look what me, little entrepreneur, did with this company. Just think what you could do with all of your knowledge and connections. And so right there, you're enhancing the fact that they were somewhat they could be elitist. You're not saying, you don't know anything because you're just a Harvard MBA. You don't know anything about the real world here. That's not going to get you anywhere.
You have to be able to build them up. And when you're trying to negotiate, you don't want to bring them down and how to take them down.
Bringing your price down.
Can you explain, I know, for our listeners, they've heard this brilliant jerk that we talked about when we were talking about tactic number 9 of 16, which is dealing with a deadlock and negotiating. Can you explain just a little bit, on this daily tip on what the brilliant jerk really is?
They can Google New York Times brilliant jerk and they'll see the article I wrote on it. But the brilliant jerk is part of a startup and they are often very critical because they're quite brilliant. They're very critical to the startup. But as the company grows and you add sales teams, they often feel threatened by that. They feel their importance is threatened. So they'll actually start undermining growth and undermining everything you need to get to human scale. So, as I wrote in an article, unfortunately, the only way I've seen that work is you have to part ways with the brilliant jerk. But that's when we call them the brilliant jerk because they put themselves ahead of the brand.
Thank you for listening to today's daily tip. Please subscribe to the Oxford Center's morning email report to stay current with high-level entrepreneur news by visiting oxfordcenter.com. Thank you for listening to the Tough Decisions Network. Be sure to visit toughdecisions.net to gain access to show notes for this episode and to join our free weekly entrepreneur email where we will send you news about the latest technology for your business, inspiring quotes, and the latest books for entrepreneurs. That's toughdecisions.net.